A calm mind is a blessing in our chaotic world. Unfortunately, many people cannot achieve it, and some of them start using pills and other substances, which often leads to addiction instead of real peace. True inner peace can be built, and that's why I'll share 4 things I changed in my life to achieve a calm and peaceful mind. The first major thing that added to my inner peace was learning to play an instrument. A lot of people think that playing an instrument is only for certain types of people who are naturally talented or people who are already musicians. But the truth is that every single person listens to music. It's something that has existed throughout all of human history, starting from the earliest tribes of the Stone Age, all the way to the digital music we listen to today. Playing an instrument helps with inner peace because it allows your mind to slow down and focus on the present moment. You become fully engaged in the sound and the movement, which helps your body relax and your mind feel calmer. Every time you practice, even for a short time, you can notice small improvements. These small steps of progress give you a sense of growth and satisfaction. That's why buying my first synthesizer was the moment that really changed my inner peace. I didn't buy it with the goal of becoming some sort of professional musician. I bought it with the intention of having something more meaningful to do instead of constantly scrolling on my phone. And the point is that you don't need to be like me. Just think for yourself, what instrument have you always wanted to play? What instrument really inspires you? Maybe there is one instrument that whenever you hear it, you get goosebumps. If that's the case, just buy it. Trust me, it will change your life. Don't be scared of trying different things. Before I had a synthesizer, I bought a guitar, which over time I realized didn't really suit me. But there is something important to understand. Playing an instrument alone will not magically give you inner peace. The first point only becomes powerful if you combine it with the following part. The second change I made is limiting my social media. Before having a synthesizer, whenever I felt bored or lazy, my automatic reaction was to open social media and start scrolling. This constant distraction and the never-ending comparison to other people is one of the things that slowly but surely destroys your inner peace. Have you ever noticed that certain videos of highly skilled people can sometimes demotivate you? Watching them can make you question whether your own work is good enough. I had a stage in my life where I was inspired by certain 3D artists, but when I finished making my own 3D movies and scenes, I didn't feel satisfaction or happiness because I was constantly comparing myself to the top artists, and that comparison slowly killed my interest in 3D graphics, and along with it, a part of my inner peace. Start noticing how much time you spend on social media, but even more importantly, start noticing when you begin comparing yourself to others. The moment you catch yourself thinking that someone else is better, more successful, or more talented than you, take a step back and remember that social media mostly shows highlights, not the full reality. Everyone has their own path and their own pace of progress, and constantly measuring yourself against others will only take away the joy from what you are doing. But the problem is that just noticing it is simply not enough. That's why you need to apply the third point. The third change that made me more peaceful is journaling. I use journaling to lay off the thoughts that I picked up throughout the day. It helps me clear my mind and understand what is really happening inside my head. Here's the method I use. At the end of the day, I try to remember what events brought me stress or anxiety. Then I write them down and start analyzing them. The first thing I try to understand is whether the feeling came from my own actions or from other people. If the feeling came from other people, I remind myself that I cannot control how others act. The only thing I can control is how I react to them. I write down how the best version of me would react in that particular situation. If the situation was caused by my own actions, then I start thinking about what I could have done differently. I write down how the best version of myself would have acted in that moment, and the next day I try to adapt that behavior. But journaling shouldn't only focus on the negative things. Writing down the good decisions and the good moments is just as important. It reminds you that you are not stuck in one place and that you are actually making progress toward inner peace. This daily analysis helps you understand yourself better. Over time, you start noticing your toxic patterns, your emotions, and your reactions much more clearly. And when you begin to understand them, you also begin to control them. That's what slowly builds both inner peace and confidence. But the most peace comes from the fourth point. Find your purpose. If you don't have a purpose, you don't have clear values, and that means you start adapting to every person you meet. You cannot truly be yourself because you don't know who you are, and that kills your inner peace. Here is what I did to find my purpose and actually start enjoying it. The only thing that was stopping me from creating and discovering my purpose was the distractions around me. I never had time to think about what I really wanted to do because my phone and the people around me were constantly creating noise in my life. I picked a day and went into a room with absolutely zero distractions. I didn't bring my phone and I didn't bring anything that could distract me. The rules were simple. Just lie on the bed and do absolutely nothing. Sure, you might fall asleep, but you will wake up eventually. The real goal is to start noticing how your brain begins to search for something to do. And through that thinking process, you slowly begin to discover the things you actually want to do. For some people it might take 10 hours, for some maybe 5. Personally, I stayed in that room for about 6 hours. You might think this is a complete waste of time, but trust me, spending whole day to do this exercise will save you years of your life. Inner peace is not something that appears in your life overnight. It is something that you slowly build. Just listening to this video won't change a thing. If you want to feel something different, pick at least one of these points and start applying it today.